Oh, look, there it goes.
Oh, look, here we are.
Yeah.
And Jackie's camera is just completely fine.
No, it's normal. It's normal.
Yeah.
Now, is Matt normal too? Because Matt looks a little fucked up to me.
Oh, like pixelated?
Are you making fun of me?
No, I mean, like, literally, you looked...
Matt looks a little fucked up to me right now. Look at that guy.
More than normal. More than the baseline.
Oh my god, that's horrible.
Oh, well, hello, everybody. It's been a little bit since we've done this. Jackie, what are you giggling about? Stop that.
Jackie, are you having fun? Stop that. Stop that right now.
Stop it.
You can't have fun.
Welcome back to another episode of the What Do the Gays Think podcast, a podcast where we, the gays, discuss the latest and greatest and also not so greatest topics in pop culture, politics, and anything and everything gay. I am MacLeod, and stay with me. I have my... Why did I write this? My upper intestine, Pat.
You know why you wrote that. You know why you wrote that.
I'm your transverse colon.
Is that what the upper intestine is?
No.
Oh, well.
But that's just the upper part of the colon.
Your upper colon is trans.
Okay, here we go.
No, what I thought he was doing.
I don't know if colons have genders.
He said transverse colon.
There's verse. There's the ascending colon, the transverse colon, and the descending colon.
Oh, see, I thought you were literally saying trans and verse.
No, this is not a bit, nor would I, a cisgendered person, ever claim transness. That's problematic, and I think you should really reconsider making that joke in the future.
Interesting. I can make the joke.
Yeah, they can. And I was gonna say, Jackie, you're my lower intestine. How are you?
Oh,
Jackie?
thank you. I'm good.
So that would be my colon, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I think I would be your colon.
The lower intestine and the colon are the same, as I've learned.
Yes,
it's right. I know that's right. So, without getting too problematic, Jackie, how do you feel about... No, this is a genuine question. We should start heavy, right? We should start heavy on the topic.
I don't even know what we're getting into.
Yeah,
I have no opinion of this.
You made the reference that you could make the joke about the transverse colon, right?
Right.
There is contention, from what I've heard. I'm not in the trans or non-binary community. I've heard there's contention between if non-binary people are trans or in vice versa.
Okay.
Please weigh in. Because I genuinely don't know, and I can't speak on it in any capacity. But I know many non-binary people, and some of them will say, I am trans.
Yeah.
And then they'll say, trans people, like, not truer trans people, but trans people who identify as trans, whether or not they're in transition, will be like, no, you're non-binary, you're not trans. So I just don't know where the line is.
As a non-binary person, I think that I do know people who are non-binary who identify as trans. I'm still figuring out if I identify as trans. I don't not identify as trans. So I can see how there would be maybe some deliberation about who can use those terms, but in the interest of keeping with inclusivity, if somebody identifies who is non-binary as trans, I have no problem with it. Whatever floats your boat. I don't think, kind of like with the F slur or F power word, I don't know where we stand on that, that it shouldn't really be gatekeeped. Like, if you identify as that, great. If not, great too.
Here, okay. Jackie going around slinging the T slur around. Anyway.
And Pat came for me thinking that I was making fun of him or claiming that he could be...
No, I just want... Okay, let's all move on from this topic. I was just looking for some clarification.
You brought it up.
No,
you came at me for thinking that you were making a joke.
No, not the T slur though. We were not talking about that.
Not the T slur.
Anyway, let's get into it. Let's get personal, shall we, Matt? Tell me how your life is.
I can't believe you remembered the segment name to like one of the segments of our podcast.
been doing this for like ever. Fuck.
Thank you for asking about my life, Pat. I very much appreciate it.
Oh.
So I started watching The Last of Us.
Uh-oh.
Oh, yeah.
And are we planning on doing an underqueer review of The Last of Us?
I will watch it.
I would like to.
Okay. Then maybe I won't say much about it then. Except for the fact that it has been now, I've watched the first 4 episodes. I forget how many there are. I think there are 9 episodes.
Yeah.
I watched 4 of them, and all 4 of them made me tear up at least a little bit.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what the fuck is going on with, why is this? I have not played the game. So I don't have the context of what, I just knew it was zombies. A different type of zombie.
Yeah.
But damn, like I watched the full thing of The Walking Dead. I don't think that show ever made me tear up, ever. Like, what is it about this show in particular? I don't know. It just hits hard. All 4 of them. What the fuck?
How many episodes are there total?
I think it's 9.
9. And they're long. They're long, really.
9.
They're long episodes.
9. German.
Nazi.
No. Remove. No. Okay. Yeah. Last of Us. Great show. Loved it. Loved the games too.
Yeah, and I also started watching The Haunting of Hill House as well.
Oh, fuck!
I didn't know that you hadn't seen that.
Oh God! Now we're getting into the good stuff. Yeah. How do you feel?
I've only seen the first episode, so
how do you feel?
I feel like I'm waiting for it to get good.
Well, I mean, it is
not that the first episode isn't good. I feel like I'm.
Yeah, it takes a couple episodes.
Yeah, but my God! And then the second season, Bly Manor, and then the third.
I haven't seen the second season, Bly Manor. Or no, wait, maybe I saw. Is there a third season?
There's like The Fall of the House of Usher, which is kind of like the third season.
Oh, interesting.
But Bly Manor, big lesbian energy. Love that show.
I've heard. I haven't
because like I'll say this: I love Haunting Hill House. Bly Manor for a bit when I was watching, I was like, this is good, but it's not as good as the first season. But that ending, that last episode, wrapped it all up. Wrapped it all up in a condom and deep dicked my heart.
The ending of Bly Manor.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah, honey.
I'm waiting for it to kick into gear, but I think I'm probably gonna like it. I would assume so. Oh my God, shut up! Sorry.
Is Troy down there? Who are you yelling
at? Troy's out there gagging. You're like, can you be quiet? The mic's gonna pick that up, sweetie.
No, my watch gave me a notification, and I hate the fucking random notifications I get sometimes in my watch. Anyway, I also built a new computer that I'm on right now.
Oh, okay. So what are the perks here? We got what, new graphics card, new everything? Did you gut her and out and like?
Well, so I got a new graphics card. The graphics card was on sale. I bought it during like a flash sale of these 4070 graphics cards. So I was just gonna replace the one that I had, but then I was like, all my parts are getting old anyway, so maybe I should just like get a new rig going entirely.
Yeah.
So I spent a lot of time, and I've got a beautiful new computer that's all the way over there currently. Running because I haven't moved my old computer.
I
love it.
But it's running. I got my RGB fans going. It's cute.
Oh, are they all rainbow?
They are. They're lovely.
Second.
Okay. How are you, Pat?
Great. Horrible. Hate it.
That was three very different sentiments.
He told us that he wanted to talk about some things, and I think he's waiting to just fucking unfurl about those topics.
Unfurl? We're talking about my dick? So, I just, I think I've transcended anger about my job, and I've reached a new plane of existence where I'm just so over every aspect of it. I can't be bothered. And now I have to train a new hire, which means I have even less time to do my actual work. So it now forces me to work on the weekends, as I was telling Matt before we started, that I'm actually working, taking a little break from working to do a lovely pod. And then, or I'm staying late at work. The other night, I think I stayed till about maybe 8 or like 7:30. That was great. Yeah, and I just have so much to do and no job wants to hire me. So, but, and we can get into this when we talk about the gay shit. Billie Eilish's new album.
Oh, there's a new album every week.
I cannot wait till we get to that segment so I can unload, so I can bust my 8-day load for that album. Jackie, how are you, dear, with your new camera that you finally got to work?
Well, it's not new. This is my normal camera, but I haven't set up this camera since I moved. Our other episodes I was recording on my laptop.
Yeah, you look and sound much better now.
Oh, good. And the camera is not playing 100% well, but you know what?
That's so.
Yeah, we're gonna get there. We're gonna get there.
Yeah, Matt said some fucked up shit before when you were trying to get it to work.
Now,
I can't wait to hear that off air.
Actually, really, it wasn't like it's not not airable.
Oh, okay.
Well, then recording
air it out.
No, I'm going to air it out right here. This is what I said, Jackie. You had changed your resolution slightly, and it looked like you had gotten wider.
Oh, yes.
So I said, oh, Jackie got wider. And Pat's like, why would you say that about me?
I said, that's really fucked up, Matt. It's really fucked up.
That's not what I said.
It's really fucked up. So,
anyway, should we spill the tea and go into our social cultural?
Yeah.
Great. I don't have anything.
This is and I bet Jackie has nothing too.
No, this is the Pat section. I don't have anything. Yeah, we let Pat go in. Well, I could talk about how I've been struggling to mow the grass. Like, what do you want me to say?
Tell me about it. I'm enthralled.
I have an electric lawnmower, and it was raining intermittently. I let the grass get too long. And so now the grass is like almost up to my knee level in some spots. It's so bad. So I have to do this. I went way too long. It was only like a week too. So I have to do like this crazy method of cutting the grass where I have the lawnmower lifted up slightly to go over it so it doesn't totally choke out the motor and everything. And it looks like a child tried to cut their own hair. It looks so fucked up. So I had to stop because I went through both the batteries. So they're charging now, and I'm hoping by tomorrow I'll have a lawn that looks like an adult cut it.
Great. I would suggest if that happens next time, you just get a weed whacker and you just go in the areas where it's really tall, cut it down to a much more manageable height and then go over with the lawnmower.
That is a good suggestion.
You just need a long ass cord for the weed whacker because those these battery packed ones are fine, but they don't last very long.
It is true.
Yeah.
Lawn care.
Yeah.
I work with grass.
It's so true.
Oh, I've heard that grass is like a certain period of time in history ago, like there was no grass. Like up until kind of recently, like 100,000 years ago or something. I mean, like obviously not very recently, but there was a point in time where grass wasn't a thing, and then it suddenly came out of nowhere and just took over. It was kind of like an infestation. Now it's just everywhere.
I like when you said recently, and you're like, it was just a cool 100,000 years ago.
In the span of
I know. I'm with Matt on this one. That is recent.
I thought you meant like lawn grass. Like for a while, we just didn't have like lawn grass. And I was like, what do you mean? And then, you meant like Poaceae. I meant
like grass, like wild grass.
Yeah, the family Poaceae is the family that covers all grass.
Yeah, and apparently it wasn't around until historically recently. I know 100,000 years is a long time.
Yeah,
but
well, corn is grass, and so is barley and wheat,
and so are certain trees. We had this conversation. Yeah,
really.
Did we have this conversation? It sounds so familiar.
Yeah, because you said I was lying.
What was the tree?
It was a weird tree. It was a certain type of tree. Mulberry?
Professor Mulberry from Pokemon.
Mulberry Lane. Anyway, spill the tea.
Spill the tea. You want some tea? How about we talk about... Well, this is also a little political, but it is very social because it has to do with social media.
Yeah.
Did you guys hear about, like, what is it called? Like, the...
TikTok ban?
That... Sure, but no. A bunch of celebrities are getting. They're losing tons of followers. The Great Blackout, the Great Unfollowing.
Oh, Operation Blockout.
Blockout. Yeah. So basically, it was like, hey, all of these influencers, famous people, aren't using their platforms to talk about important things like Gaza and the Palestinians. We should negatively impact their revenue from social media by unfollowing them. So I think like Kim Kardashian lost a few million, and then so did Taylor Swift as like the biggest ones. And I just want to say that what's the phrase, like cooperative action? What is that phrase?
Collective
action?
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, you guys know what I mean. Like that actually does have dividends. That actually has an effect. So when people think about voting, they really need to remember that if you vote with a large enough group, you can enact change. Just like if you unfollow someone with a large enough group, you can also enact change. Just like if everyone decided one day that we're no longer going to go to work until the United States stops funding Israel and everyone stops going to work, it would actually get the job done. It's just that it's hard to move people en masse. But it was interesting to see that through social media, things like TikTok, X, and whatever, you can get these large groups of people, primarily younger people who use them, like millennials and Gen Z, to actually enact some real damage on these people. Now, are Kim Kardashian and Taylor Swift going to go bankrupt? Of course not. But it is a rather significant number if you think about it.
Yeah, I think that there is one thing that I want to point out. So there have been attempts to do global strikes for Palestine and against Israel, for example. Obviously, striking is kind of a hard thing to do, especially when it's kind of difficult to collectively get people to strike all at the same time. I mean, you can have unions that are organized, kind of organize these strikes for you. But like on a global scale, en masse, it's kind of hard to get everybody to globally strike. Mm-hmm. So I think it's really I think it's really interesting. I think it's really good that people are taking collective action to hit people where it hurts in a different way, because sometimes doing a global strike just isn't possible. Sometimes boycotting a lot of these large corporations isn't possible depending on where you live. What?
Boycotting?
Oh my God.
Them-cotting.
Sometimes boycotting en masse is not possible either. It depends on, what you can afford. Can you shop locally, et cetera, et cetera. Sometimes doing those boycotts aren't, effective either. Mm-hmm. But unfollowing people on social media is a very easy thing to do. Blocking people on social media is a very easy thing to do. And it does take away from their revenue. So I'm really glad that this kind of movement is taking hold. And yet maybe it doesn't have as huge of an impact on their wallet. It is good enough to get some people to take action, because there have been some of those, bigger celebrity names who have come out and been like, hey, like, all right, let's do something about this. Like Lizzo, for example.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, Lizzo made a video, and I think a couple of others have. But yeah, I think it's a good cause.
I agree.
Yeah, I saw Brittany Broski. Do you guys know who she is?
Yeah, she's the kombucha girl.
Yes. So she, for a while, people were like, why aren't you saying anything? And then I saw her make a video, but it was weird because she had posted the video on her, like, not her, like, influencer account on TikTok. She did it on her, like, not secret, but, like, her, like, more personal / unfiltered account that has, like, less followers, though. So people were like, oh, so you'll post a video, but you'll post it on this account that actually has less outreach than your real main account. So it's very interesting to see everyone's responses to it and see which celebrities are now sort of being like, oh no, we probably should talk about this. It's very interesting.
Very interesting. I think it's kind of highlighted something that I've brought this up before. I've made this point before about how celebrities are like different kind of people, or they don't see the world the same way that a lot of us do. People who aren't, extremely, extremely wealthy. These celebrities have a completely different outlook on the world. Everyone caters to them all the time. They see the world through a very rich lens. So I think the point that I had made may have come off a little bit different. I had said like, oh, celebrities aren't people like me and you.
Well, they're not. They're not. And they're lizard people. They're not real people.
It's true. The Illuminati really has them.
Yeah. But I think that this like whole movement where people are finally looking at celebrities and being like, why aren't you have all this money? Why aren't you using it for something good? And then their complete and utter silence. I think it's finally showing us that like we shouldn't be idolizing celebrities as much as we did. Like they're not as good of people as they portray themselves to be, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
They're not.
I'm glad people are finally turning on them. I said this. I'm glad people like
eat the rich.
Fuck them up. Eat the rich. Yes.
Eat the rich. I think it's also telling that I feel like we were in a direction for a while with social media where parasocial relationships were, I don't want to say becoming the norm, but kind of like almost becoming more accepted. So I think that this whole was it Operation Blockout? Whatever.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, Blockout is a reminder that, you don't know them. You have no relationship with them, no matter what you think about how you interact with their posts on social media, etc. None of that matters. It literally does not matter.
Parasocial relationships. They're not real. They're not.
And they don't care about you. They don't. They could say, I love my fans.
I love my fans.
No, you gotta, not on a real level.
You gotta be like Doja Cat, where she's like, listen, I have fans and I appreciate them, but I don't know you and I don't love you. She's like, I don't go. She says something. What she say? She's like, go back in the kitchen and go help your parents make dinner or something. Like, get offline, get off my shit. Like, you're my fans. Thank you. But also, I don't know you and I don't love you and I don't owe you anything.
Right.
So, I don't know. I think that's very interesting. But yeah, good for them.
Yeah, but here's what I will say. So if there is, anybody listening to this who, you're a big fan of a celebrity, maybe you're thinking of going to a Taylor Swift concert or something like that. A lot of these celebrities will take that money and not do great things with it. So maybe it's time to redirect some of those monies and put it towards an important cause. So if you've heard of Operation Olive Branch, it's kind of the big one going around right now. It's all about getting families out of Gaza. If you want to redirect some of that money that you were going to put towards a Taylor Swift concert and put it to charity instead, that's a pretty awesome thing to do. So go look up Operation Olive Branch. You know what? I'll even put a link in the description of this episode whenever we upload it to Operation Olive Branch. And if you want to donate some of that money to help families get out of Gaza, I'm sure they would appreciate it.
Yeah. Speaking of Taylor Swift,
here we go.
This is irrelevant. Don't worry. She's on tour right now, and she's on tour with Paramore. So I keep getting TikToks of Hayley Williams performing as the opener, and the FOMO that I experience is so intense and palpable because I love Hayley Williams to death, and I love Paramore, and to know that she's on tour with Taylor Swift and I just cannot see her is heartbreaking.
As I was just like, put that money somewhere else.
Listen. We live in a capitalist society. It's impossible to be 100% moral in your spending power. So, but what's funny? I would go to that concert just to see Paramore. And if I really didn't feel like it, I would leave right after. And I wouldn't even be sad that I missed Taylor Swift. Because we already talked about that album and I was not here for that recent album. So I don't need to hear her sing that fucking music.
When's Paramore going on a tour of their own?
I saw them last year when they were on tour. Or about maybe a year and a half ago now. So they were just on tour, and they, not that this is super relevant, but they had a contract that recently ran out with their music producer label or whatever. So I don't think they're under any label right now. So they may not be making music. Although I think they like each other still. They probably will, but they're not obligated to under some label. So it might be a while. And Hayley Williams is all about now supporting like local musical arts and a lot of stuff with like vinyl and a lot of like, things of that nature. So she's busy.
I love that. I kept
being a talented, beautiful woman.
Yeah, I kept getting ads on, not Facebook, Instagram for a while for like a mental health app or something. And she was really vocal about that. And I was like, you know what? Love that.
Targeted ads for you.
Mama, they need not apply. I'm already in it.
Yeah, it's like I already have a therapist, but
already in it, but thank you.
What else we got going on? We got the Northern Lights that none of us saw, I don't think.
No.
We go outside to a nice cloudy, overcast day in light polluted Jersey City. Yeah.
Listen, if I had known that we were going to get Northern Lights. I didn't know until that day. Like I saw it, I was like, oh, well, watch out for North. I was like, what? Who? When? I may have made a plan to go somewhere else to see it, but
yeah.
The way that information spreads nowadays is very interesting. I wish it spread in kind of an easier way, like my legs.
What the fuck was that laugh? Okay.
For those of us who aren't on social media as much, like myself and Jackie too, sometimes getting some of this information is hard. And
it's so good. You two run a fucking podcast where huge components of it are based on what we see on social media, and you two are like, well, I'm never on it, so...
Listen, you have on lock the fucking cultural aspect. We got plenty of other things to talk about.
Great. So what's the next topic here? Do we get
Isn't it politics? Yeah. Why do politics suck?
Why does politics suck? Oh my god, Jackie knows the segment names too now.
Well, that is more surprising because I know Jackie doesn't listen to the pod. But as if they're surprised. Oh, I'm so shocked that he knows exactly what I do. It's not like I tell them that I don't listen to the pod.
Okay, everybody calm down. Everybody calm down. We know I don't listen. We all know I don't listen.
Yeah, why is Pat telling me that I'm a big lesbian? I know that already.
Well, just in case I already know.
Just in case. Who's got politics? Anyone got politics news?
Well, this is usually Matt's thing.
Yeah, so...
Oh, wait, what's going on? Well, okay, I do have a question, but Matt, you go first.
I was going to say my politics was just the Operation Blockout thing. I had it under the politics, but it was fine for it to be in the social cultural part too, because it might more fit into that realm anyway. But in terms of like actual politics that are going on, the only thing that I saw recently that I thought was really funny, there was a House of Representatives member.
I think this is what I was going to ask about.
Slaughtered Marjorie Taylor Greene in some committee meeting, and I was like, I absolutely love that.
Yeah. Okay. So what were the details around
Jasmine Crockett.
Yes, Jasmine Crockett.
I think is it Jasmine Crockett? I believe so. Yeah, Rep. Jasmine Crockett. They were having a House Oversight Committee impeachment inquiry, I believe, and speaking on CNN State of the Union, Crockett explained her remarks in response to Greene, saying, so Greene said the following: I think your fake eyelashes are messing up what you're reading during a committee hearing on Thursday.
Oh, and my God.
I think one of them said, and I want to find the quote because it's very funny. She said something like, oh, fuck. All right. Well,
it's like bad built, blonde, bleached, blue body or something like
that. Built, bad, bleached, blonde. I don't know.
Built, bad, Butch. There was something.
Butch was in there too.
Built bad. Oh, God.
Now, Jackie, when you heard the Butch component of that phrase, what did you think?
Oh, lesbian. I mean...
Well... But yeah, so they were going back and forth. I think AOC also might have gotten involved at one point. It's so interesting. I do like Jasmine Crockett. I think she does a pretty good job when she like does her little questioning things during these committees. But it's just so funny how like you vote these people in and you realize that they are just like regular people, and they're like most people can get a little nasty, especially Marjorie Taylor Twat is like just horrible.
Oh my God.
Horrible.
And her playing like the white victim card afterwards, being like, well, why are you saying that about me when she started it?
She started it.
Here, I do want to say this about, I don't like any politician really. I'm not going to lie. Like even AOC, like some of them are better than others, obviously. I feel like some of them have the interest of the people in mind more than others. But I do think all of them are not great. Like I'm not a big fan of them in general. Regardless, I will say that it's interesting that whenever these things happen in politics or even in any like corporate environment or environments where workers are talking to each other, whenever someone's been like, oh, you're too aggressive, oh, you need to calm down, it's always directed at a Black woman. And and then people were obviously calling this out, and then you'll have other people being like, well, she was being aggressive. Like, why are you saying that that's a racist thing to say? And I'd be like, because that is always the case.
Yes.
That is always what people say when referring to Black women and their opinions and when they're speaking up about something.
Yeah.
Because apparently they can never stand up for themselves without being told to calm down or that they're being too aggressive. So I just always think that's super interesting that even in our politics, racism is still very much alive.
Real quick, the quote was bleach blonde, bad built, butch body. Which
that is such great consonants. So, that is perfect.
The alliteration is so good. But I do agree with Matt. It is it's still very much, a phrase that is used with women as a whole, but especially women of colors, to just calm down and stop being so aggressive. And you can't win, to people who think like that. And I do agree that all politicians are bad. I don't like really any of them.
APAB. the wheezing.
The wheezing is what gets me. Amazing.
APAB. I'm team APAB.
APAB, yeah. All politicians are bad.
I think it's like vindicating on one side and frustrating on another. That I kind of talked about this over text, but that we seem to have more traction with fucking blocking out celebrities, potentially, trying to get movement or traction on a political movement than we can with the people that we've elected to our own government, who are largely a bunch of fucking idiots.
Nope.
I just want to say that Jasmine Crockett posted on their X, they're going to drop a Crockett clapback collection. This collection will feature various swag that includes random things I've said. The money will go to ensuring that we have a democratic house. And the picture is a shirt that goes bleach blonde, bad built butch body. And it has a little dash, a Crockett clapback. And I would 100% buy this shirt just because it's so fucking funny. Bleach blonde, bad built butch body.
I love that.
Not the butch body part, though. Not the butch body.
But it's so funny.
Yeah.
I mean, have you seen Marjorie Taylor Greene, though? I mean, come on.
I wish I hadn't. I wish I fucking hadn't.
Freaking smiling Titan ass bitch.
She really is so scary.
Smiling Titan, no.
She's so fucking scary.
Oh, God. I gotta just make it a quick aside here that I recently did some manscaping, and I've got a little razor burn on my hip area.
Yeah.
Just gotta put on some post shave balm later. Anyone else?
Some aloe, No,
I'm not a big fan of aloe. Anyone else got politics to talk about?
APAB. Yeah, I think what's his face, John Fetterman, has been going on a spiel of pro-Israel nonsense.
Is he?
He's your senator, Jackie.
Yeah, the Pennsylvania. Great, love that.
Yeah, Democratic senator, elected in 2020. Very pro-Israel, apparently, and I don't think that when John Fetterman was campaigning that was a huge issue on the political scene.
Yeah.
So I feel like a lot of people, especially on the more progressive side of, the Democratic Party, are kind of looking at this like, how did we not see this, for one thing? And also feeling a little bit betrayed that he is so radically pro-Israel that it's kind of insane that they put him into power.
Yeah, I Googled, I think I just Googled Fetterman pro-Israel, and the results are just rife with pro-Israel things. But no, to Matt's point, as a person living in the state where he was elected, Israel was very much not even an issue or a topic at the time. He was going against somebody who was really...
Oh, Dr. Oz.
Yes.
Dr.
Oh my God, that was it.
That's right.
That was it. So
2020 was a different time, folks.
Can you imagine Dr. Oz being in power right now?
Was it 2022 that he was elected, or 2020?
I think 2022. I think it was 2022.
Oh yeah, because he determined the Senate control. I'm pretty sure.
Oh
yeah.
So,
yeah.
yeah.
Not to bring it back to social really quick, but I have one more social thing that I just have to talk about very briefly.
It is really.
Go ahead.
You guys know about the film Megalopolis?
No, I do not.
You guys know who Francis Ford Coppola is?
No, I do not.
Why does that ring a bell?
Francis Ford Coppola did Godfather.
That's probably why.
Okay. So apparently.
What
A sweet lady. Not really.
Wendy?
But Megalopolis is a film that he made, and I think Francis Ford Coppola is very much like a very, very well regarded for The Godfather, but not very well regarded as a person. Or maybe even as a director. Like the finished product of The Godfather, it's a great film, but
I've never seen it.
It's good. I like it. It's very good.
I haven't seen it either, Jack.
Well, great. So anyway, he's got this new movie out. He spent his own money on it to finance it.
Oh.
No big studio was involved at all. So he got to make literally every decision on how this movie was made. He basically sold off a bunch of his like wine company, which was actually where he makes most of his revenue. Sold off a bunch of it. I think he spent like $250 million on this film.
My God.
I was excited because I was like, wow, this film, because it was not made by any production company, could be very, very different in terms of its styling, its messaging, just everything could be different. I'm very excited. I've seen a teaser of it. I don't really know the plot, nor do I really care to know yet. All I heard so far, though, is that people, because it debuted at was it Cannes, the Cannes Film Festival. Mm-hmm. Either people say this is like an insane movie. Well, they're all saying it's insane. They're either saying it's insanely well done or insanely horrible. There seems to be no in between. It's people look at this and go, this film is pushing the media and the medium forward. It has new ideas. It's a breath of fresh air. It's crazy, but it's interesting. Or it's like, it's unbearable to watch. It's boring. It's useless. Don't do it. So I'm excited to see it for one thing only, though, because apparently, no, I don't know. Maybe there's apparently in the film there is a component that requires a live interaction with the movie.
What?
Apparently, there's a part in the scene where someone in the movie addresses the audience, and an audience member interacts with the movie back. So that means when this film is released, if it's to be released in the same way it was screened at this film festival, there needs to be someone in the audience who interacts with the movie.
Every time it screens.
Yes. So either that's going to be extremely interesting or completely horrible, because just imagine AMC hires just like a weekly worker to just like pretend to be acting with the movie. It's either going to take you out of the experience and ruin the whole thing, or it's going to really make this a very interesting to watch. So I have to see it.
Interesting.
I have to.
So wait, is this out now? Can you go see it like tonight?
No, I don't know, because the fact that it wasn't made by a production company that's like well known, I don't even know how they're going to distribute the film. He said it will be distributed. He's like, this will be out in regular theaters. They're doing it, so it's going to be very, very, very interesting. So I'm excited.
What an interesting cast! Adam Driver, Giancarlo Esposito, Natalie Emmanuel, Aubrey Plaza, Shia LaBeouf. What?
Yeah.
John Voight, Lawrence Fishburne.
Yeah.
Talia Shire, Jason Schwartzman, Catherine Hunter, Grace Vanderwall, and Dustin Hoffman.
Yeah. So
what
I'm excited.
An interesting cast.
But yeah.
Well, let us know.
Anything more on the politics before we move on?
I have a different question, Pat. Have you seen Challengers?
I've seen it 3 times, Mama.
Okay.
I've seen
I keep seeing freaking TikTok clips of it. I'm like, I don't know what this movie is. Can you enlighten me as to what's going on? I've heard it's a little gay.
It is a little gay, yeah.
Tell me about it.
A little bi, probably. I've seen this movie 3 times, and I didn't mean to see it 3 times. It was more like I saw it once, and then like friends of mine were like, we're going to go see it. And I was like, well, I want to hang out with friends. Let's go see it.
Yeah.
And you know what? I loved it every time. I do think it's a great movie. It is about basically 3 people, 3 tennis players, and how there's like a somewhat like of a love triangle there. There's like a lot of tension between them, and it takes place over the course of maybe like 13-ish years of when they meet initially when they're, kind of young. I think they're all in high school, tennis players, and then a little bit in college, and then into adulthood when Two of them are now professionals, but one of them suffers an injury early on in her. The woman, Zendaya's character Tashi, suffers an injury early on in her career, and then she can't be a tennis player anymore. She then marries and coaches one of the two males. She dates the other one in the past for a little bit, and it's basically all this build up and tension between the three of them. And the film is not about tennis. I mean, it's about the sport of tennis, but like the actual tennis playing is really not that important. It's about the dynamics between the three people. It's about the tension between them. It's about the sort of manipulations they do on each other. Are they truly in love with each other? Are they truly in love with just the sport? It's very effective, and it's a little gay. And there's like one scene. Well, there's a lot of scenes that I really love. The writing, Luca Guadagnino did it, and he's the one who did Call Me by Your Name. And you can really tell. No, listen. I think objectively Call Me by Your Name is a good movie based on the cinematography, based on how it was written and directed. I do think that. The source material was the thing that I didn't really jive with, but that was the source material. So, but I think the direction and the writing of this film are really good. And there's one scene where I don't want to spoil it because it is really, really satisfying to see. It's so funny, but it has to do with all three of them. And you watch Tashi's character manipulate these two boys when they're younger. And it's so satisfying to see this strong woman manipulate these two men for her benefit.
Ooh.
It's not really, I wouldn't say it's like a sexual thriller, although it is very erotic. It's not like a early 2000s, late 90s sexual thriller, but I think it gets close to it. It's great.
Does she make them kiss? Is that what happens?
There's a lot of kissing that goes on. And I love it. And the score. Oh, mama.
Who did the score?
Trent Reznor and Trent Reznor, not Reznor. Who the fuck else did it? Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross. Trent Reznor is from Nine Inch Nails.
Oh.
The band. And I believe Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross, both of them or one of them did the same soundtrack. Did the soundtrack for the Watchmen series that was also really, really good. And this it's so funny because like the movie starts and it's like, oh, okay. And then the beat drops and you feel like you're at a rave or something. The soundtrack is so horny and so good. That movie is really horny too. It's like the movie's horny, girl. Horny.
I love it. I love horny movies. Should see
it. I think it's great.
Okay. Do we have any gay shit to talk about?
Yes, we do.
Okay, here we go. What's new with the gays?
Billie Eilish's new album.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Okay. As much as I would love to do a deep dive track by track, I know we don't have the time for that. So I'm just gonna pull up the track list. And I'll give you a brief little thing. So she and her brother Phineas, who they always collaborate.
Ferb?
No. 10 tracks, love it. 10 tracks, short album. But each song ranges from like either 3 minutes to 5 minutes, almost 6 minutes. Every song has a lovely outro that kind of bleeds into the next song, which I like. It's very musically, and it's sonically how it sounds is so. The mixing is so good. Her voice, because a lot of times on her tracks, so much like she basically does every vocal, and it's layered so well. So you have so many backing vocals that are just her. It's so. Oh, it's just so good. It's so good. It's so good. And then one of the songs, "Lunch," is about eating out a woman.
Love it.
Love that.
Lunch. I could eat that girl for lunch. The way she I can eat that girl for lunch. She dances on my tongue. I think she might be the one. Do you need to see? I'll volunteer. It's so good.
Damn.
It's so good. And then I would say that all the songs are really good. I like 9 of them. The 10th, like there's one track that I'm not super into, but Skinny is the opening track. It's really good. It's basically her commenting on how people have said that she's lost a lot of weight, and she has. And she goes, well, everyone's just saying this now because I'm skinny, but I think one of the lines is like, the real me was the old me, and I think that she's pretty. So it's basically about her really loving how she used to look when she was obviously not as skinny as she was now, but how that could actually be the truest version of herself. And she still really likes that version of herself. Lunch is a big lesbian track. Chihiro, I think, is a reference to Spirited Away.
Oh, I was going to say, very interesting.
I think it's a reference to Spirited Away. Birds of a Feather.
What is Chihiro about?
I honestly don't really know.
Okay.
But maybe you should listen to it as a Ghibli
fan. I should.
Birds of a Feather is the track they used in the Heartstopper Season 3 teaser.
Oh, and yeah.
She's actually giving you like this really genuinely cute, like almost pop song, which is really surprising because she doesn't really play pop music that much. She's very much different than that. Wildflowers, amazing. The Greatest is probably the best track on the album. It's so sad. She's belting on it. She's screaming. I love it. L'amour de ma vie, Love of My Life in French, also great. The Diner. She writes a song from the perspective of a stalker of hers.
Oh,
so she's writing about how the stalker, her in the song, is like sneaking into her house, leaving a calling card so that she knows that she was in her house, and like it's so creepy but great. And then the last two tracks, Bittersweet and Blue, they're okay. Blue is much better, but Bittersweet I'm still trying to like. But it's so good. It's lyrically, it's just so wet. And I'm thinking about Album of the Year for the Grammys, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think the two big contenders right now are this and Cowboy Carter by Beyonce. And I think Cowboy Carter deserves to win. I think Beyonce deserves to win. I mean, we're not even halfway through the year yet, but I do think she deserves to win. Personally, I do like Hit Me Hard and Soft, which is Billie's album. I think I like that better, but I think Cowboy Carter deserves to win. But I would love to see Billie win another album of the year. It would be so good. And Tortured Poets Department can suck a fat dick. It's not winning.
We know Taylor Swift's going to win.
No, this one can't. Last year, I was really confused because I was like, I liked her last album, Midnights. I did, but I was like, it's not album of the year. And then it won, and I was like, what the fuck? I was like, Renaissance by Beyonce was, I think that was that last year? Anyway, can't believe Taylor Swift won last year. It was horrifying. So this better fucking win. Or Cowboy Carter. Hopefully Cowboy Carter wins. But yeah.
I really hope Taylor Swift does not win.
I know.
She can't.
I really can't.
Jackie wants Taylor Swift to burn in hell. We know.
It's like there are albums there because she's won album of the year a few times. I think there were years that I thought, that was probably earned, because album of the year is not just about its popularity. It's not just about how your records sell. It's also like the impact of it socially, but also like popularity because it's a voted thing. So yeah, Taylor Swift's really popular. She gets voted, but this album is. Just I know you guys don't listen to music, which is insane because every time I bring music up, I'm like, they're never gonna listen to it. Why bother?
Podcast and music, two things I don't listen to.
Your own podcast.
If you have time, get some noise canceling headphones or just go into a quiet room. Yeah, Jackie's like, I can't even hear you right now. Sit down.
I'm not listening.
Play at least like 3 of these tracks. I would say, I guess Skinny, Lunch, and The Greatest, or maybe Birds of a Feather too. Like, just listen to them and just be transported to a different sonic realm.
And just be trans. And just be
See?
You know, it's so... I have a group chat with my sibling and my mom, and we're all gushing over this album. All 3 of us are like, this is incredible.
That's so wholesome.
It's so... Anyway, that's what's up with the gays. What else the gays got going on?
I don't know. I haven't seen much in the realm of gay news recently.
Red, White, and Royal Blue is getting a sequel.
Oh.
Does it have a sequel book? Isn't it a book?
Oh.
I'm not a huge fan of when people adapt a source book or something like that, and then they add a sequel to it that wasn't originally there, because then it's entirely new material. And they never quite like understand it the first time anyway. And so then when they adapt it, it's like, oh, well, now you're going off script. And
it's just like a money grab.
It's kind of like Love, Victor.
Oh. Well.
Which, Jackie, you watched Love, Simon, but you never saw Love, Victor, which was the sequel series.
Yeah, I remember us talking about it. I heard too many mixed things about it. It did not sound like my cup of tea.
Yeah, it was definitely very interesting. I wasn't the hugest fan in the world.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of anything where a sequel has been made, not based on source material, like a book or a comic, that was good or like.
Well,
better.
wait, The Jurassic Park.
Well, yes. After the first, I think 2. I think the first 2 were based on books.
2 were.
But then again, are they like But then, Watchmen series, the series Watchmen, which is basically a sequel to the original Watchmen comic, that was not based on any source material. 10 out of 10. Shit on it.
Right.
Vomit it.
Put it in your mouth.
Fuck it up. And honestly, Matt, if you want a series to watch after you're done with your little The Last of Us and
with your little Last of Us,
with your little The Last of Us
and Haunting of Hill House, you should watch Watchmen, because that is political.
I have to watch Men. I love that.
I love that. You should watch that. Jackie, how about you take all those fingers and put them up your poussoir?
I have so many fingers.
Yeah. So you should watch Watchmen. Watchmen is...
Why don't you come over? I can put them somewhere.
I am coming over. Your birthday.
Oh my god, Jackie.
It's true.
I need to tell you this, but Pat said he wants to play Baldur's Gate with us. So we need to all get together.
Yes.
I also don't understand why Matt and you are surprised. I remember all of us talking about it.
I don't remember this.
Back in our streaming days, the idea was floated that we would all play it. But wait, can you play it? Like, okay, so how does the multiplayer actually work? Like, does one person...
fun. So, basically, one person, like, owns the save file.
Yeah.
So, Matt owns the one that we're playing on. So that basically means that I can only play the character that I'm playing if I'm playing with him.
Yes.
So it would be like the same thing.
Yeah, but we all play in the same world. It's like the same.
Yeah.
Correct. Yeah.
But
you
you
know,
all
it's like
need
a
a
D&D
copy.
campaign.
You all need the copy of the game.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I'll purchase it at some point, and then we can get a file going.
Well, when, Mama? Let's go.
Hold on. We never beat Valheim. We haven't played the new Phasmo update.
I don't need to beat Valheim.
We haven't.
We tried to beat Valheim, and
we haven't beaten Diablo 4.
I've beaten Diablo 4.
Matt hasn't beaten Diablo 4.
I haven't beaten Diablo 4.
We have a character collection that we haven't beaten yet.
Oh, well, let's play Diablo 4 later. Let's go.
Okay, fine. I'm wet.
All right.
Okay. Are we gonna sign out of this? Do we have a Wouldya, Couldya, Shouldya we could do?
Well, anything else before we wrap up?
The Wouldya, Couldya, Shouldya.
I meant anything. You know what I meant, bitch. You know what I fucking meant. Let's see. Anything else I want to wrap up with? No. So, Wouldya, Couldya, Shouldya.
Yeah.
How about
Marjorie Taylor Greene?
What? What about her? What about her?
Marjorie Taylor Greene. Wait.
Are we doing Marry, Fuck, Kill? Is that what you're doing?
Yeah. Marjorie Taylor Greene. It's too much of a name. Biden.
Oh.
God.
And who's that one Supreme
Hillary.
Court judge?
Kavanaugh or the woman?
No.
There's 7 of them, I thought.
I was going to say there's someone. Who was the guy who got in trouble for the gifts? Was that Supreme Court?
Oh, yeah. Clarence Thomas.
Yeah, him.
Wasn't he also the one that was like... Wait, who was the one that was like, we shouldn't have...
We shouldn't have rights?
No, there was a person who was like married to a woman of color, and then he was very much like, maybe we should revisit interracial marriages. Wasn't that a thing?
Yes.
Or is that Clarence Thomas who's married to a white woman?
Maybe that was it.
It could be that.
Anyway, so we've got, who do we have? Marjorie Taylor, Biden, and Clarence Thomas?
Mm-hmm.
Well.
Wow.
Wow. Is this fuck, marry, kill?
Yeah. It could be whatever you want. Well, it would all be kill.
Yeah. Kill all of them. Kill all of them.
No, I mean, you have to marry Biden, kill Marjorie, fuck Clarence. I'm sorry.
Okay, here's my answer, actually. I'm going to kill Clarence.
Oh.
And now, listen. I don't like Clarence Thomas, but if a Supreme Court position opens up and Biden is still the president actively, we could get a more liberal justice on the Supreme Court than if Trump gets reelected this year. Yeah. Let's kill Clarence right now to open that up. And I guess I'll fuck Marjorie.
Yeah.
And marry Biden? Yeah.
Okay.
We'll go with that.
Yeah. I'm just going to come right out of the gate and say this. I'm going to marry Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Because you could fix her.
Oh, interesting.
No.
You could fix
No. There's no fixing her. But I just think it would be worse for her than it would be for me. And that is really entertaining to think about.
You would make her life a living hell.
Yeah,
I would forced to be married to not a man.
Yes, exactly. So I think that would be really fun for me. And she probably has some money. She's a politician, right? So they all have like insider trading.
Yeah.
I guess I'm gonna fuck Biden.
Well, don't be happy about it.
And then kill Clarence.
Nice.
Yeah.
I agree.
Okay, great. That was a lovely episode.
Did you hear that Nancy Pelosi recently made like a ton of overall has made a ton of money based off like stocks and stuff?
I'm not surprised.
Like, why are politicians? Well, because someone was like, politicians shouldn't be allowed to trade stocks. Politicians or their immediate family members.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, okay, but then you have people who work in companies who can trade stocks, but obviously the idea is that they won't trade stocks with insider information, but we still allow them to trade stocks. So like, who do you say you can't, like, where does the line go?
Here's what happens. I'll tell you about my company real quick, which I won't say, but here's how they do it with us. And it's that there are blackout periods of trading stocks right before some sort of big announcement of, we're going to have this new feature. They will black out stock trading, so you can't trade stocks during a certain period of time.
Now, but like, what if little Joe, whatever his name is, who works at your job, goes, hey, honey, tell your cousin that we're having this blackout period to trade.
Could happen.
Yeah, it still sucks. It's still so horrible.
Yeah,
but I guess it's the best thing you can do, though.
Yeah. So can they do that in politics? I don't know. You know what? I don't, because they have access to information about like every company, basically.
Yeah, so you just shouldn't be able to, like, if you have that much information, you should not.
You shouldn't be allowed. Yeah, at all.
Complete blackout. 100% blackout.
Maybe stocks isn't the best idea.
What?
In general, yeah.
In general.
That's some
capitalism
crazy
is not a good
talk.
idea.
What?
These freaking communists out here talking about getting rid of the stock market.
Liberals.
I really want a universal basic income.
Oh, that'd be lovely.
It would be lovely.
I was having a conversation at dinner the other night and I was laughed at. And I was like, you can laugh at me. I know this is a dumb idea. That'll never happen. But I was like, if AI really does free up a lot of jobs because it could be done through AI or just by computers or automated in some way, we should be really moving towards a society where people don't necessarily have to work in that way. So if we should be making society work for us, not against us. Like, we should have more and more positions be automated, so more and more people don't have to be forced to work as much as they do now, because that's ridiculous.
Yeah, I think the problem with living in a capitalistic society, though, is that when you have something like AI and it pushes people out of jobs, they still have to find a job. I know, because we don't have a universal basic income or anything like that. The social solidarity to understand, hey, this can benefit everyone. And then, like, the jobs that you can't get automated, let's say doctors, there's always not enough doctors, but there's also not enough, let's say, residency programs or positions to fill for doctors, right? Mm-hmm. So you have this huge group of people who are highly educated, who are really required, but only a small number of them can actually be hired. If we can, like, automate some more jobs and get more people to go to these sort of occupations that require real people to run them, we could actually have more of them, and then alleviate the stress on a certain doctor who has to have like 30 patients because there's only so many of them that can work. We could have a lot better infrastructure. Trains. I want trains. Yes, high-speed trains. Run a train on me. And you know, people typically are, at least this was my experience, you grow up and you kind of have this idea ingrained into you that it's like, oh, if you pursue like a liberal arts degree or kind of in that area, then it's like, oh, you're not gonna be able to find a job because it's really difficult to get into art, or it's really difficult to get into music or film or whatever. So it's always like, okay, go into like a coding thing or go into finance or something. But if you can automate some of that stuff and those other liberal arts kind of programs become more viable, we can get more artists, we can get more people creating music, and make that a more viable path. I don't know. I think that would be lovely. I read something, and this is going to be so horribly bastardized because I can't remember what it said. Basically, it was like there's this
group that supports artists. And I think for the first time, maybe since its inception, it was like, we're not taking new members because the arts is such an inviable occupation. We can't in good faith train you in how to do these things because you will not find work. And I was like, gag.
Yeah, it's rough out there.
They were like, we would love to give you training on how to paint and shit, but like, we know you're not going to be able to find a job.
No.
We can't in good faith train you because we don't want to ruin your life economically. So
doesn't that suck? Like, we have all this stuff that is just, it's one long run-on capitalist sentence where it goes from like, fuck the arts, but now we're putting arts into STEAM and all, you know, like, instead of STEM and all this stuff, where it's just, we are so fucking ourselves over. Like, time after time.
It's
and
horrible.
You know what? The people who have the biggest legacy, I would say, you know, go back to the Renaissance era. The thing that I would immediately think of is all the artists. You know, Michelangelo, Picasso, all them have, I think, some of the biggest legacy from that era for creating beautiful things. And I think
Picasso during the Renaissance?
I don't know.
He certainly was not. He certainly was not.
I wasn't going to say it.
No. Picasso was born in 1881, girl.
But why would Matt know? Matt is just saying, he's making a point about
I'm trying to make a point about people and their
arts are.
I know,
yes.
That's a very good point, but I did not want, I couldn't, I'm sorry, I couldn't.
But you know what?
Pat, this is why people don't like you.
They don't like me. Girl, they don't like me for a lot of fucking reasons, and that's one of them, honey. That is one of them.
But anyway, arts and money have gone hand in hand for a very long time, and we, in like this generation and era, I feel like we're not seeing that as well.
Not see.
Reason number 2 why people don't like you.
Especially in the era of AI art, where people are like, "Oh yeah, now we just have the computer create the art for us," and it loses all of its
nuance,
value. Like,
and literally, you don't have to be an AI to create art. Like, you can literally. Art is not something that you have to ascribe to. Art is just something you do, you create. It really doesn't have to be anything. It's about what it means to you, what you're getting out of it in that moment.
Jackie, you said art so many times, I thought you were like a seal.
Art.
God.
Reason number 3 why people don't like
you. Yeah, you do that a lot, don't you?
Come over and find out.
I am for your birthday.
The fucking Hunger Games thing?
Well, Scout's honor. Well, this has been fun. Thank you so much for joining us for another pod. The What Do the Gays Think podcast. You can find us here every other Tuesday on your podcasting platform of choice. Catch these episodes in our not the What Do the Gays under queer review episodes, where we review queer media, books, film, and television. Maybe we'll do The Last of Us next whenever Matt and Jackie watch it. Oh no, Jackie, have you watched it?
No.
Great. Whenever Matt and Jackie watch it. Follow us on your social media of choice. We have an X that we don't really use. We're more on Threads, and we've got Instagram.
Yeah, at What Do the Gays Think on both of them.
Yeah.
What are you clicking? That's so great for podcast audio.
For someone who couldn't even get their audio to work last episode, you got a lot of nerve.
Mama, at least I'm fucking here.
You got a lot.
What are you clicking?
Always here. Let's go back to 2 episodes where you didn't even show up.
And we talked about fucking Professor Layton and Phoenix Wright.
Oh, yeah.
We did. Okay, great. Anything else to plug?
That's
your
everything.
mouth.
Yeah, asshole.
Oh, I do.
What?
And I am Matt.
And I'm listening to Billie Eilish's album on repeat, Pat.
And I'm marrying Marjorie Taylor.
Oh.
And making her life a living hell.
Yeah. Would you take the last name?
Absolutely not.
Would she take yours?
No.
Okay.
You just keep both your last names.
Yeah.
You don't need to be affiliated in that way. You don't.
No, exactly.
Goodbye, everyone.